Oops, not that one. Sorry, it was the wrong thing. Part of me is I just try to find the slides. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Thank you for your patience. There. So welcome here. Ogana and Carol.
Yes.
Did you want to?
Yes, we're here.
Great. Did you want to walk through this or do you?
So do we start from the first slide or straight to?
Why don't we start here?
Okay. Now, Gona, do you like me to start?
Yes, Carol.
Okay. Hi, welcome everyone. Acknowledgement of land, country, or character. We acknowledge the following people from Coady Institute. They are alumni of Coady: Ogona Ogbuagu from Nigeria, Caroline Kisato from Kenya and currently in Ghana, Patience and Agwejang from Cameroon, Fikru Tarekegen from Ethiopia, Fatolade Olani Ajayi from Nigeria, Constance Kamga, Cameroon, Jeriot Chang, Cameroon, and also in Italy, Josephine Yelang, Cameroon, and Robin Neustaeter, Canada. You're all welcome to this session for today.
Thank you, Carol.
So Gona, please go ahead.
Thank you. You're welcome. To make this a smooth process, please do the following. Audio, please remain muted unless speaking to reduce background noise. Video, please limit turning your camera off and on as much as possible. In need of technical support, there's a designated tech support person on the hosting team. If you need assistance, message in the chat. Recording, These sections will be recorded. So if you would prefer to not be captured, keep your video off. Let's get started.
All right.
So Carol, I want you to
Yes.
start first. Please go ahead and introduce yourself. And for the audience, you can introduce yourself in the chat box. Share your first name, pronouns, location, and if applicable, the acknowledgement of country for the land you are currently on. So Carol?
My name is Carol. As you've said, I come from Kenya, but currently in Ghana. And what is the other one? Sorry.
I think that's basically it. No, not so much. Okay, my name is Ogonna Ubuagu from Cross River State, Nigeria.
Who are the other people, or is it just the two of us?
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Patala Deolani Ajayi from Nigeria. I'm a security expert. Thank you.
Any other person on board? Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Patience Agwenja from Cameroon.
You're welcome. Any other that we can hear?
Josephine Yellen here.
Most welcome. More, please.
Josephine.
Oh.
Yes. Is it Josephine or?
I am Josephine Yelang from Douala, Cameroon.
You're welcome, Josephine.
Thank you.
Any other person? Yes.
Fikru Taragain from Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. Greetings to everyone.
You're
welcome, Mr. Fikru. Okay, new research. The ABCD ebook is a collection of international ABCD practitioners have been putting together an ebook where everyone can share their stories, tools, and wisdom. Recordings from this year's on-conference section will be part of the collections. You can submit a story at www.abcd-ebook.site to be included.
New resource. Have we completed that?
Yes, Carol.
Okay. Next slide, please. I would encourage all of us to be muted until we start. You can test your microphone and speakers while waiting by going to the bottom left side of your screen as seen in the picture. I hope we can all see the picture. And during the session, please be muted if you're not talking. When you're ready to talk, unmute yourself and the host will call on you. And depending on your computer and settings, you can use your space bar button to mute and unmute yourself. Next slide, please. Ogonna.
Okay, troubleshooting, having bandwidth problems. Most likely from all the programs running in the background, you may want to close programs like Outlook and Google Docs that are constantly refreshing. Also turn off your video. Sorry about that. Also turn off your video can lessen user bandwidth. To prevent meeting controls from auto-hiding in the Zoom client, go to Settings, Accessibility, and then select Always. Next slide.
All right. We have one bulletin. There's one bullet.
It's okay. I think we can move on.
Next slide, please.
There, that was the last one.
Okay.
Okay, Carol and Ogona, can we please continue now?
Yes,
Okay,
I can
Robin.
hear you.
Carol?
Yes.
Okay.
How many participants do you have? We have 13 participants. You're almost welcome. We have representation from different countries. I can see the UK, somebody listening from the UK, from Germany, somebody from the United States, Australia. We have Nigeria, Cameroon, Nova Scotia, Canada, Australia, Colombia. You're all most welcome. Just to find out, how many sessions have many of us attended so far? I believe today is the last day. You can unmute and let us know which session you've attended.
I've lost count. I think it's about 10.
Wow. Congratulations. Wow.
I think I've done about, it'd be over 20. Yeah, I've lost count too. I'm not really sure. I only got 4 hours sleep last night.
So have you been sleeping? Have you been doing, you've done 20 sessions?
I got 4 hours sleep last night and a half-hour nap today, and we'll see how I go overnight tonight.
Oh, impressive. Any other person who's attended at least one? I did one and I slept in between because it was in the night. It started at 9 p.m. and I sleep early. So I was on and off.
I did one yesterday, but that was about 6:40 Nigerian time. So it was kind of early in the evening. So it's interesting.
Nice. Can anyone share anything that has struck them or anything that they felt was good out of any of the sessions they attended?
Oh, yes. I attended the session on project evaluation. And what struck me, I shared in the group, the first follower attitude. So that was striking. It's been more than 6 years I went through that video. you, and I was very excited, and I had to share it on social media everywhere. It was wonderful.
Oh.
The session itself was wonderful. I learned a lot.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Any other has something they learned?
She discussed that on the page, and it was quite interesting when I watched the video. In fact, the first person's attitude was actually what pulled the people, you know, he started the movement. It was wonderful. I think that was wonderful. Yeah, I saw it, 2 patients. It was wonderful.
Okay, back to Ogona. Ogona, please take us through the next steps.
Okay. Robin, can we start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, once again, I want to welcome all of us to this conference. It's a very beautiful one. And today is for Coady graduates, and we'll be looking at Peacebuilding ABCD. That's our section today. So before we start, I want to introduce our panelists. We have Carol. Hello, Carol.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'm going to introduce 2 of the panelists, and you introduce the other 2. We'll have 4 of them.
Okay.
Okay, we have Mr. Ajayi Olaniyi from Lagos, Nigeria. He's an officer of the law with decades of experience in peace building. He is the CEO of a global security and risk management organization founded to curb violence and insecurity in Nigeria. He is an author, human rights activist, and nonviolent advocate. And the next person on my list is Kanga Constance. She's from Yaoundé, Cameroon. She's a 2-time graduate of the Coady International Institute. She's the general coordinator of 300 Women Voices for Development, Cameroon. Over to you, Carol.
Okay, we have Ajay Olani from Lagos, Nigeria. He's an officer of the law with decades of, yes.
He was, Ogona introduced him already.
Oh, sorry.
So you start with Patience and Fikiru.
Oh, she began from bottom up, sorry. Okay, let me do Fikru Tarek again from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Is passionate about humanitarian and development work in Africa. He's a field practitioner in areas of peace building, ABCD, and others. Then we have Patience and Agwejang from Bamenda, Cameroon, has worked with different organizations to facilitate the application of assets-based client-led development approaches in the localization of the women, peace and security agenda in Cameroon. Oh, sorry, I had to get offline to look at it from a different section.
Okay, thank you, Carol. So you're welcome. The theme of our section is community strength, wisdom, and resilience in times of crisis. So is Peacebuilding ABCD a global mosaic of processes? Peacebuilding plus ABCD? Absolutely. Starting with the local and ordinary sustainable peace building, start with community relationships, knowledge, stories, experience, skills, and resources. Recognizing the shared values of ABCD and everyday peace building practitioners around the world are merging the two with fascinating learning strategies and results. For over 20 years, graduates of the Coady International Institute have been integrating peace building and community development. So we're going to look at peace building with the term community strength, wisdom, and resilience in times of crisis. Having said this, I want to welcome all the panelists. You're all welcome. Ajayi, you're welcome. Patience, Fikri, and Constance. Over to you, Carol.
Now we'll start with Patience. Patience, could you please take us through?
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, we could start from page 2. All right, that's fine. That's not fine. Page 2, please. Slide 2. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Yes. So I'm Patience. I've already been introduced. I'll briefly talk with us on the theme or talk a bit about ABCD. From my own perspective, with all the work I've done with organizations, I take ABCD as appreciation of daily realities. And that's often what I do or say with everyone I work with, whether they're in the communities or in the organization. So ABCD is more of looking at the asset, looking at putting people in control of their lives, in control of processes, in control of the things that matter to them and their communities, whether it's at family level, whether it's in the community broad-based levels. So first, the principles of ABCD, we have the citizen-led approach. We have the fact that it's based on relationships. The assets needs to be valued. It's context. Context is always important in ABCD processes. And we have the fact that inclusion is a key component of what makes ABCD magical. It never happens with one person only, but it happens with you in relation to other persons. So, well, most of this I would like to, I would get down a bit when I reach to talk about the Women, Peace and Security agenda. So I don't know if the slides are moving. Yes, okay.
No,
So,
but I can move them for you. Just let me know.
All right, then please, next slide, please. I can't see from my end. Okay. Well, here I just mentioned a few examples of ABCD approaches just to connect us as we're beginning the session. Like, I know most of us are ABCD practitioners and we can relate with appreciative inquiry, community conversations, doing dialogue, different dialogue processes, or doing evaluation in community in different ways. But most of the work that I've done with organizations and what I often emphasize has to do with the fact that context is specific for ABCD approaches. And each time that there is a composition, when you remove one person or another in what constitutes a team, it often affects the outcome in terms of knowledge, in terms of situation of community development. But you have self-learning that is often derived in the process of introspecting, reflecting with others. There's a fact that people always would think around their own ways of doing things, and there's a lot of wisdom that is coming from people. And there's a fact that you can relate theories and concepts to what matters to you in your daily life. I often say to people that if what you're telling me does not, if I can't feel it and know it in my life, then it doesn't make sense. And like a lawyer also, I often tell people that I don't talk law to you because if the law I'm telling you does not relate with your life on a daily basis and that you can feel it and appreciate it, then I'm not too sure it's helping us to move forward. Now, please, the next slide. Let's Yes, that's true. So I will take ABCD the way I've worked in the context of the Women, Peace and Security agenda. So within the context of the Women, Peace and Security agenda, it's quite complex whenever I have to deal with organizations and we look at ABCD. First, we have the 4 pillars of participation, protection, prevention, relief, and recovery that are expressed differently. So individuals dealing with a small segment or a small grouping, whether it has to do with a family, in the neighborhood, in the community, in province or regions, and nationally, with maybe a specific aspect, or maybe GBV, maybe gender-based violence. And you see that when you put all of this together and go through maybe simple conversation or planning, the results of ABCD becomes different for you. For example, in participation, when you're looking at women's role in decision-making and you take your time to do conversations around the dynamics in a family, you discover that although these dynamics could be interrelated or could scale out to the level of what could transpire in the neighborhood in terms of women deciding on what you should eat or what schools a child should go or how you should engage and associate in the community. Okay, please, Robin, can we just have the last slide? Please. Yes, just the last slide. I sense this would disturb me.
Yeah, is this the one you meant?
Yes, please. It's fine. So I will talk ABCD from here. Here we have a group of women, and this organization or this group of women is the organization of one of our Coady graduates. We have Clotilda, she's in the session with. He formed community peace clubs with women, 15 community peace clubs per 1 municipality, and they had to involve in their neighborhoods and discuss about issues that affect them in their families, in their community, with regards to women engagement in peacemaking processes, with regards to women's engagement in decision-making at family levels. And applying the ABCD in this case was two-way. One, it had to do with applying it with the organization or the team of facilitators that we had going to the community. And it also had, secondly, with the community peace ambassadors that were running the sessions. So we had to take our time to look at the United Nations Resolution 1325, which is a global framework appreciated at continental, national levels. We had to look at them within the framework of their communities and within the framework of their families and what applies to their lives, what changed the decision-making or the relationship between the women and their men. And ABCD in this case had to do now with, if I take the case of protection now had to do with this group of people sitting down to discuss what constitutes protection in terms of policies that apply to them within their community or in their municipalities. What are those local laws? What are the traditional practices? What are the cultural norms that are affecting them and affecting the way and the way they deal with each other? Now, we had the issue of engagement. What are the associations? What are the groupings of women, men, youth, boys in this community that were working together, or not necessarily together, but in complementing each other to see that peace advance? I would like to say this context is a context that is currently facing insecurities, and these people gathered here are threatened by a violent conflict that is ongoing. And these are only the days when you see the people are able to sit and gather and talk, and they will not be scared that a stray bullet will pick them or that somebody would arrest them. So this is the kind of day that this community met and had to discuss about their issues. Now, they talked of how do they relate with the media. In a context as sensitive as this in Cameroon, in the northwest region of Cameroon, people are very careful with maybe their language, even the media, how you relate with social media, how you relate even with internet. I'm currently sitting in this same community. And here, there are times that I would not be able to have internet or talk with you you as I'm doing today, because the width for internet is sometimes reduced and communication is frustrated. So you have those kind of engagement and people sit and think and talk and see how it works. Now we have the issue of law when it comes to applying ABCD and what are the laws. If you take the case of gender-based violence, most of these people sit and talk in their families and try to understand with how do they, what are the mechanisms in place in their communities for people or children or women faced with GBV, and how do they address them? What are the community processes like the community heads, the quarter heads as they call them here? How can they put their energies together as a family, as community to address issues of GBV? So that is just one way. I think I rambled a lot, but all of this was just to say that when there are situations like in the Women, Peace and Security agenda, that when you want to apply ABCD and you are working with organizations, whether they're specific organizations or they're a group of organizations, it is often quite complex processes that sometimes you might need to interrelate them like I've done. I could also have just taken just one instance and explain. I think that should have been different. So that is all what I'm trying to say here. And I'm sure that in our other discussions, we're going to have more of what constitutes ABCD and how it relates with our work as practitioners.
Thank you very much, Patience. That was very informative. And if we have any questions from the participants, could you please, I don't know if we're to do the questions now or after all the panelists make their presentations.
Maybe after.
Okay.
We also have the breakout rooms coming up.
All right, that's good. Okay, thank you. So who's our next speaker in line?
Okay, our next speaker is Ajayi Olaniyi. Want to see how he connects security, peace building, and ABCD.
Okay, thank you very much, Ogochukwu. I'm very
Thank you, Ajayi.
Yes, I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I welcome everybody to this particular program. The title is Community Strength, Wisdom and Resilience in Times of Crisis. Okay, and today I would like to inspire somebody, and I have a story to tell. And I want everybody to listen carefully so that you can connect my story to ABCD and peace, okay, for community development or peace building in the community. I call it PDP. I know in Nigeria we have what is called PDP. It is a party, but I'm not talking about that party. I'm talking about how you can become who you choose to become when you are patient, diligent, and peaceful. You can become who you choose to become when you are patient, diligent, and peaceful. This story is about the story of my life, and I know a lot of us have different stories. We have experiences that we had in the past or presently, or that somebody told us. Now, I was born into a polygamous home of 5 children and 2 wives. My mother breaks up with my father when the heat was too much, and I was just 2 years old by then. At that point, my mother has no source of income. So she dropped me off to the family member, the family aunties. When I was 5, I was sexually molested by one of my extended auntie. Okay? And harassed by my own extended family, right? I went through trauma coupled with child labor, even as a child. I was involved in labor work, like breaking of rock to granite, for stipend, carrying of plank at sawmill for stipend, and hire for bush clearing, also for stipend. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
we can hear you. We're listening to
Good.
you.
Yes, yes, we
Good.
can hear you.
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I just need to be clear. Like I was saying, even at my teenage age, I have involved in so many hard work as a child. Why? Because of the home breaking that my mother had with my father. That means potentially I have no parent, because I was dropped off in the village. My mother was in another city. My father was also in another city. Okay. Moving on, my mother has to join me on so many occasions when she realized that that load is too much for me. I remember a particular day, my mother has to follow me to a bush clearing job that I accepted for the family to eat, for me and 2 other siblings to eat. Okay? And I remember that she was shedding tears in one of those times. I have to console her that, don't worry, everything will be fine. Okay? When she realized that, okay, I've already said that, yeah, it is my cross. I was peaceful, I was patient, and I was ambitious. In all those times that I was going through all this trauma, all these challenges, call it challenges of life, I was very peaceful, I was very diligent, and I was ambitious, and I was patient. Because I know that many of our parents today, they contributed in one way or the other to so many things that we are facing today. But yet, I never questioned that. I never for once had to her agony. I was just following what a child, following my dream, following my aspiration, and believing that one day everything will be all right. My youthful agony and challenges never dictate that I take to crime. Neither did I remember the damage effect of sexual harassment until I become an adult with strange emotional feelings. When I become an adult, so many things happen to me as a result of the molestation and harassment I had in the past. And I begin to have so many strange feelings. Some people will say, you need to see a doctor, you need to see but I never had that opportunity. Thank God for Christian life that my mother introduced me to. And thank God for fasting and prayer. It really helped me. Yet, the scar don't disappear easily. My challenges change my many heart desires and ambition. Yet, I don't give up. I become resolute and determined for a greatness. Yet, I'm always peaceful outside. Faith offers me so many things in life, but I embrace all with peacefulness, joy, and happiness. Today, we are not where we determined to be, but we are not where we used to be yesterday. My today is far better than yesterday. In this short story that I want to inspire you with, it is a true life story that I experienced in the past in my life. So many heartbroken, so many challenges that comes my way. I accept everything with faith. How is it related to community strength? The story of every community is in the strength of every community rather is in their story. When you look at a particular community, check their story. If they are developing, check their story. If the crime is persistent in that story, in that community, check their story. I'm a police officer in Nigeria. I have experienced a lot of crime-related stories. And even at now, we are still witnessing so many stories of people, of community, and dispute. Why is it like this? Because they cannot connect. We cannot connect ABCD and peace in that particular environment. What is ABCD? ABCD is asset-based community development. Those assets that we have in each community and use it to the advantage of those communities. Help me, I help you. You help me, I help you. Those resources that we have, we use it to our own advantage. Peace. This is a state whereby you have no worry, you have no problem. You are able to endure so many hardships, and you are able to move forward collectively in a particular environment. In my story, I told you about how I was peaceful even in my condition. I never took to crime. I have so many friends of mine in the past that when things are not okay, they will take to crime. And today, many of them are in prison. Today, many of them become non-entity. To the glory of God, I have an organization which I'm funding, which I funded rather, okay, that is working against crime and violence in my community. You see, I just want us to have something at the back of our mind today, if we are not taking much from this, my little story, that our community can be peaceful. Our community can apply the motive behind ABCD to our own development. If we are courageous, if we are peaceful, if we are diligent, and if we are patient. Many of us today, we are not patient in so many things we do, and that is why they involve in so many crimes. They involve in so many unholy things, and that is why our community is not developing. It takes just one person to change the story of a community. We have so many great men today because of their lifestyle to ABCD and peacefulness or peace building. We need to propagate the gospel of ABCD and peace building in our community to the advantage of the community member. I cannot continue to count the story that I have experienced in my life that the community, they failed because they never apply ABCD and peace building in their life or in their community. I want every one of us to be able. I know you might have so many questions regarding my story, and I'm ready to answer you all. But I want you to know that if our community must develop, if our community must be resilient and use the wisdom, we must we must inculcate the habit of ABCD and peace building in our community. Thank you very, very much. God bless.
Thank you, Ajay. That was a very moving story, and I'm happy you've healed and able to impact the community from your story. And next we'll have Fikru from Ethiopia. I hope you're still around. Please share with us your presentation.
Yeah, thank you. Nice to meet you all. My name is Fikru. I'm from Addis Ababa now, right now. So I'm currently working for one international organization as a country director. So I will, the story will be my practical experience on ABCD and shortly on peace building. So I would like to start with to say Happy New Year. In Ethiopia, you know, we have just started our New Year in September. So it's a bit different calendar. So even though it's for the second time, I would like to say Happy New Year to all of you. So I don't know how much of you know about Ethiopia, but it's a big country. We are 100 million people plus, and I think the second populous country next to Nigeria. So coming to my story, so asset-based community development, it's a strategy, you know, to make a sustainable community-driven development. So it starts with a micro asset, and then changing that to macro environment. So it's when we say ABCD, we don't need to look for extra things, but it's an asset. We should look for assets that are already found in the community and mobilize individuals, associations, and institutions to come together to build on their assets, not focusing on their needs, especially in Ethiopia. And Ethiopia has been the largest recipient of food aid in the world. I think this is common for many African countries. And, you know, many people are dependent, so they deal with dependency syndrome. So I really like this ABCD approach. So rather than, you know, looking into the needs, even many humanitarian organizations, when they do need assessment, or, you know, it's from the name, you know, they start from the need, you know, from the lack, what they don't have. But I think this one is, you know, it's a completely different thing. It starts from the capacity, from what we have. So it looks for untapped and overlooked potential that could be scaled up for wider impact. Maybe I would like to speak about, you know, half full glass or half empty glass. So the ABCD approach starts with half full glass. So it starts with the community already, what they have, what they help them to strengthen their community. So we don't look into the deficiency and the needs, rather we focus on the capacity and the gift. So it starts with what we have, and the building, and that builds from there. We need to compare, is that a dependency, or we need to versus a joint action? So I think asset-based deals with the joint action, and the need-based is usually is about dependency. So we need to empower our community from this perspective. It's not easy, but we need to think also that everyone has a gift, with a rare exception. People can contribute, even they are poor or, you know, very most vulnerable. I mean, they can have, they have gifts. So we need to discover those gifts. The other thing is a relationship, you know, the relationship we build in a community, make them and utilize them. We need to intentionally build and nourish the relationships. That's also the core of ABCD. So I think what I like also, how ABCD is also linked with peace building. Like we work in Ethiopia with a pastoralist community. I don't know if you have heard on the media there is a lot of conflict going on in Ethiopia, especially in the northern part of Ethiopia. Because we have around 85 ethnic groups, which is a very divided people. So I think because of different reasons, there are conflict happening. So I think the relationship building will really contribute also peace building. If there is no peace, ABCD cannot function. So I think we need to also, I would like to relate those things from the 5 key assets of ABCD. Like individuals are one of the assets, associations, institutions, physical assets, and the last one is connection. So when we talk about connection, if there is no peace, if the people are not willing to discuss dialogue, and if they don't manage, conflict is okay for me. It's the way we manage that conflict, even at a household or a family level. So I think we need to build the capacity of the community to do that. So if there is no connection, like in a humanitarian world, there is a saying, they call it the do no harm approach. I think we should go beyond that. It's not only about do no harm approach. That means every project we do, every intervention we do in a community shouldn't cause a conflict or cause a problem. For example, what I remember is if you build water pond, system for one of the community, and the other community is in conflict with the community, that pond can be, can create a conflict further. So you need to, whatever we do, shouldn't create. So every project, they call it a do no harm approach, but I think we should go beyond that. We should intentionally help the people to live peacefully and practice ABCD. And about the social capital, human, these are the type of assets, the physical, the natural. I think we need to identify those things, the financial. So from our experience, like in Ethiopia, what we do is first we try to identify the right community, the suitable community to practice ABCD. So we try to build relationships in the community because that's very important. And after that, we try to conduct basic research in a community. So after that, once we conduct the research, identify the gap and the potential capacities, we organize ABCD committees. So so those committees are established. We need those, they will help us to identify the assets, the opportunities. So identifying the economic opportunities. So then once we identify, we link them and we mobilize them. Maybe let me finish with 2 small stories. Like in Addis Ababa, there is an institution called EDR. It's a social institution in Ethiopia. It's like more than 100 years old. It's very common. It's a social institute. It's a kind of grassroots life insurance. So they help Ethiopians, the EDR help like neighbors to organize funerals or for their closest relatives and provide solace in grieving. So it's like a social institute. So people contribute money for that. So what we did was, these people are really just after involved after someone is dead. So why don't they help someone while they are alive? So we just try to build their capacity, to empower them, to sensitize them. And so then even during this COVID time, after we mobilized them, they helped 115 destitute grannies, during this COVID, because there are many people, business went down. So I think if we can do like ABCD, they were able to identify the capacities. They were able to contact the local businesses to contribute money to help the grannies while they are alive, rather than only conducting funerals. The other story is about pastoralists. Like we have a program in Ethiopia-Kenya border, which is around Moyale, Somali area. This is a conflict-prone area, and because of the intervention, so we organize them in self-help groups. The government usually involved after the crisis, but the conflict is not happening overnight. So there are so many ways to understand. So we are helping the community to establish, by establishing early warning, conflict early warning systems, organizing them in self-help groups, organizing like community conversation sessions where they can discuss with other ethnic groups so that they can peacefully resolve their conflicts. Because of the intervention, they were able to get increased assets, like when we talk about pastoralists, it's mostly their livelihood is dependent on livestock. So they are able to process milks, like, they have a cooperative, they've established cooperatives where they can make yogurt and, try to sell even in a cross border. So their income has increased, their saving. When you talk also about this area, most of the people, take chat, this, which is a drug. So they try to save money, reinvest their savings. So because they were wasting most of their saving before. Now, because of the capacity building, they are able to mobilize their own resources. We've increased the leadership. Their attitude has improved, changed. So now they have a peace committee. So rather than just going into conflict, so they are trying to discuss whenever possible. So I think these are some of the experiences from my side. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fikru. That was very informative on the approaches that you've used in Addis. And since I don't know much about ABCD, I've learned a lot from the presenters. And finally, we have the last presenter, Constance. I think she's joined us. Constance, are you available? Constance, can you hear?
So Constance is here. She might need to unmute herself.
Okay. Hi, Constance. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, welcome. You're the last panelist. The other three have already done their session, so sorry for the hitches that you faced, but you're welcome. Please go ahead.
Thank you, everyone. We are talking peace building and ABC. I would like to say we have been working on the peace building as a graduate of Coady, who studied peace building. I came to understand that peace building will deal with the little works that we do in our community every day, and how we try to build the community, the people in the community, in community development, how we try to build them emotionally, psychologically, physically, even when there is war and even when there is no war, because a lot of people think they will talk about peace building. It is only when we have conflict, it's when we have war, when we have drags between communities or between countries that we have to talk about peace building, but that is not the case. Peace building tells us that we have to work with our local community, the people, by building them emotionally, psychologically, physically, and that's how it goes. So from our own Cameroon perspective, we know we have been, I became interested in peace building when I came to Coady because we had this serious crisis, the political crisis that we have been experiencing in Cameroon since 2017, 18, 19, 20, and even we are entering the 5th year of this crisis. And when the topic of peace building came, we were so interested, especially most of us from Cameroon, were interested because we had to know what peace building was all about. So this crisis has actually helped us to understand a lot, and actually ruined our community. in the northwest region, the southwest region of Cameroon. And it doesn't even end there. We also have the northern region of Cameroon, where the Boko Harams too are attacking. We have the eastern regions where the Seleka fighters too are attacking. So at this moment, Cameroon is facing a war on 4 fronts from 4 different regions of the country. And we as the people, the community workers, the community leaders, what have we gotten from this? So what we try to do is we try to build the capacity of especially the IDPs, that is the internally displaced persons that are coming from these regions, because when these things happen, you see the population migrating into the other part of the country that is peaceful, we can say so. That is a little bit calm. And so we as peace workers, we as community workers, we have a lot to give into these people. So we what have we been doing in Cameroon? We have been working, we have been sensitizing this population through our own work that we do. We collaborate with other groups, with other organizations to work towards this peace, especially with the women, to work towards this peace. What do we do? For example, recently we have our conference. We try to talk with the government. We try to bring out resolutions to see how the government can assist, can bring in policies that can help Cameroon to move further into this peace issue. Before that, we visited the Prime Minister's office, and we give our own resolutions into this crisis, like women, to see how, especially since this crisis was going on, a lot of women has actually been we had a lot of victims. Women have been the victims, you know, women being killed, women being raped, women being molested, women, you know, we are facing all sort of situation. So we met with the Prime Minister and we gave our own resolution so that the government can see what to do as far as this peace building is concerned. Okay, like right now, like in Yaoundé, you go to the street, you meet a lot of these IDPs roaming. It's already school period. And what do? We try to bring them together. We identify them. We go to the field. We do identification. The ones that we can sponsor, those are very, very vulnerable. We sponsor them. The ones that we think we can work with them, like the women. What do? We try to bring them into entrepreneurship. We teach them some little businesses that they can do in order to sustain their livelihoods. With the men, we like the young boys. What do? We try to work with maybe some workshops with some organizations that can train them in also little business that we think that it can be very, very sustainable for them. So we also talk with parents, because as the crisis came on, we discovered the families that are living, for example, the Northwest and Southwest region and coming towards Yaoundé, Douala, Bafoussam, and the rest, they come and meet other families, and this make them the whole family situation to change. For example, you will see a family that has been living maybe 3, 4, and they are now maybe 20 in the household. And what do you expect to happen? You will see a lot of incest and little other ills coming up from this family, rapes and things like that, you know, which is really, really not normal. Those are the kind of things that we see in the field. Children who are facing rapes in the same family, from their cousins, from their brothers, from their uncles, and things like that. And it's really bad. So we go out there, we try to educate the parents, you know, tell them about parenting, that as you people sit in the house, don't close your eyes, because your children may be there and things are happening in your house and you might not know that this is what is happening. For example, when last year, when I went out we went out to do the 16 days activism program. We went to one primary school, and when we were trying to sensitize the children on rape, we discovered that out of 150 children who were in the class, about 100 children, pupils, they have been raped. So it was so surprising. And when we tried to identify who they were, we discovered these children were coming from, most were coming from the crisis zone, from the Northwest region or the Southwest region. And, you know, we even had fresh cases that a child was just raped on Sunday and she was in school on Monday. And when I asked the child, who raped you? She said, it was my uncle. And I said, what happened? She said, my parents had gone for the family meeting, and the uncle came to the house. When he discovered nobody was there, he raped me. And I said, when your uncle came back, what did he do? Did you try to tell him? She said, yes. And what did your uncle say? My uncle said, I should not shout. I should not make anybody to know. Were you taken to the hospital? That's my question. She said, yes, I was taken to the hospital. They did a medical report, and the uncle who raped me says he was going to take charge of what are the drugs or whatsoever. But that was not the best way, because we thought we could move forward, you know, to take it to, you know, to the legal side of it, but the family could not allow us. So those are the kind of challenges that we also face here back in Cameroon. We go down to the field, you meet these IDPs, and you see that they are really, really vulnerable. And they don't even have, you look at the places that they stay. It's so, I don't know how to explain, you know. When you understand what war is all about, then you know what I'm trying to say here. So as far as peace building is concerned, what do we do? It's just this little work that we do. You don't need to face the war physically to know that what you are doing is peace building. So peace building comes here with a little assistance that we give to these people, the little skills, the little knowledge, the sensitization that we give to these people. And now I have, from my own little knowledge of blending ABCD and peace building, what can I say? What I will say is, okay, what we did is, like, we've been using our own local facilities that we have to build peace. How? We take, let me take, for example, we take a group of internally displaced. We teach them how to do fish rearing, and by using our local materials, local, how to build, let me say, how to build a fish pond using our local materials, using our local things that we can find around us. And why they do this, we are building them psychologically, we are building them physically, we are making them happy, because after that, they will use this, they will sell this fish, it will give them the possibility, it will make them possible for them to be sustainable. They can be able to send their children to school, can be able to feed well, they can be able to have good places to live. They can be able to make themselves comfortable in one way or the other. So I think that is my own blend of ABC and peace building that I understand, you know, making the environment comfortable through the local materials, I can say, that we have in our own community. So I can see peace building and ABC. And to make us to understand that to do peace building, even our mothers in the village, from the way we were taught, our mothers in the village, the little work they do in the community, the fact that a group of women can go out, clean their environment, clean the village square, talk to other women, work together, maybe even in the farms, and what can make them comfortable, to make them have peace in their mind. All that is peace building. So peace building does not only come when we have conflicts, when we have war, when we have crisis. No, that is also part of peace building. But peace building is actually, from what I understand, is when we make our community develop physically, psychologically, and to make, you know, the vulnerables or the people in the community to feel, you know, comfortable. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Constance. That was also very informative. I know you've rushed in and tried to summarize everything in a few seconds, and thank you. From now to all the participants, we'll move into breakout rooms. The breakout rooms are ready. We have 4 different presenters who have spoken to us today. So you are free to choose which. I don't know if Robin is going to allocate you the room, or you choose which room you need to go to.
So I have put
Robin?
people into, I've put people into rooms, and the rooms where you'll have 20 minutes for discussion in the rooms.
Okay.
So here we go. So please join your breakout room when you get the message.
Welcome, everyone. I hope you had a great time in your breakout rooms. Yes, it's true, Alison.
Yeah, I had a great time in patients group. Unfortunately, network took her away, but we had time to share some bits and pieces about how ABCD is connected to peace in our local communities, and we were able to discuss some of the learnings from the presentation on peace building's connection to ABCD.
Thank you, Josephine.
You're welcome.
Ogona, would you like to share with us what happened in your breakout room?
Okay, thank you, Carol. Well, it was wonderful. Constance, the other participant from South Africa, Ajayi, it was so wonderful. We shared so much experience, and it was so wonderful for us to understand.
Have we lost Ogona? Oh, Ogona is out. Who can help us from that breakout room?
Yeah, I don't see Ogana. She must have dropped off.
Yes.
I'm sure she's trying to come back.
Yeah, we'll need some support from her group. Constance, AJ, the South Africans you mentioned.
Yes. Yes. Ogona was actually in my group, and we talked extensively. It was wonderful. We checked about the similarities between ABC and peace building. We were able to fine-tune and discuss that both of them are working for the perfect harmony and coexistence of people in a community. Okay, and we're able to talk at length different things that we are doing. Okay, like myself, I was unable to say that part before the time was up. Okay, and what we were doing in our community varies. Myself especially, we have so many people that they are victims of circumstances, and these are the people that I try to orientate in my community. We try to orientate them. We try to change their orientation. Then we also follow them up. We follow them up to their different home. Many of them, they have a home, a crisis in their home. Their parents were not together. So it's as a result of why they take to crime. Many times we recommend them. We recommend them for organization after reorientation. Before I can stand for somebody as an officer, I must be able to be convinced that that person has been reoriented. These are part of what we discuss. I also want to say that for me, part of what we do is to discourage child labor. Because what I experienced when I was a child, I would have taken to crime. So we discourage child labor a lot. You see those children selling beside the road, it's not good. Invariably, it will turn out to another bad thing. So we try to discourage that. Many of them, they are victims of rape from there. With a girl and a boy, there's no one that cannot become a victim of rape. Who knows that I can be raped when I was a child? Okay, so many of those things we need to discourage, and that is part of what we are doing in our organization. And Ugonna was able to ask Constant some of those things that she was doing. Okay, and I don't know, maybe Constant can even add some input. Constant, you are muted, Constant.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, is Ogona back? Like she was
Not yet.
Okay, she can continue. Ogona, please.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Constance. Sorry, my device went off. Okay, we had a wonderful time discussing and listening to Constance. She gave us what we needed, but there's one thing that actually took home from her. She made mention that for ABCD and peace building to work, we need to empower the communities. We need to, help them tap from the unseen assets that is within them. And she gave us a little story of how they've been able to teach the people on fishing and all that. And for Ajayi, you say something. You say for us to live in peace, we must coexist. Meaning, you say that we should discourage child molestation, child labor, home breakage and all that, meaning that peace starts from the family. Yes, and the wonderful guy from South Africa made mention of sustainable development. Yes, ABCD is a strategy for sustainable community-driven development. So it was a wonderful section. Dee just said it all. For us coming from conflict nations where you have wars, banditry, terrorism, and all that, I don't know, it's not something anybody wants to experience, but from the way Ajayi, Constance, the way you put it through, you actually made it look so easy. So it was beautiful from room 2. Thank you so much.
We had the experience from Australia. She was saying she's never had an issue. She never had a problem with peace. Can you?
Yeah, she said that. That's what I'm saying, that our issue from this side of the world is something we can't wish anybody to experience, you know. It's actually terrible. So when she was saying that, I really envied her. You know, I was like, oh my goodness, you can just wake up freely, go shopping without fear of terror or anything. So it was mind-blowing. So I'm glad we're able to share our knowledge, and I'm also glad we're able to learn from each other. But I have something to say. Just let us wear everybody's shoes, you know, try to fit into our different shoes. You'll be able to imagine what is going on. So Constance, I'm so proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. Ajayi, we're in it together. Andy, just invite us to come and have a day of peace in Australia. That would be great. Thank you so much. Carol? Hello, Carol.
Hello. Oh, thank you so much for your session, and you must have had fun in yours. From the excitement I can see from all of you. Now I'd like to hear Fikru and his team.
Yes.
Fikru, are you still around?
Yeah, I'm around. So with Gerriot and Fiona, Karen, Clotilda, I think we were in the same group. So I think what we did was to reflect whether we have experience on ABCD and peace building. So that's what we discussed. And then what are the similarities? What are the differences? So then we also reflected on those issues. So I think Fiona has a lot of experience in ABCD, so it was great to listen to her. And yeah, Gerriot, maybe you can also say something. You are on mute, I think.
Yeah, that's true. The good thing is, thank you, Fikru, for that. The good thing is our group, we are from different parts of the world, and that makes us have different experiences and also different work experiences. Like Fiona, that has worked all her life on ABCD and peace building. And we had Karen. Yes, we had Karen that has worked also all her life without actually really knowing that it was ABCD and peace building. That's not using those terms, those educational the educational language that we use on that, but her activities, her work that she has been doing still falls in line with ABCD and peace building. Yeah, well, what I got from our experiences, we discussed, and what I got was just give me 1 second, please. Okay, yes. Using the different skills of people. This was from Clotilda, right? Yeah, Clotilda. Yeah, Clotilda said using different skills to connect different people, and using also people's languages, you know, not the language that you teach them, but you go with use what they have, like their local languages. You use their you help them the talk amongst themselves, the work together, And this is, it falls in line with ABCD, using assets that people do have without having going to look for them somewhere else. Then also the fact that when you promote, like Karen, that she talked about trying to get the non-Indigenous people of Australia to understand the Indigenous people, because Australia also had war, but not as what we have in Cameroon or in most parts of Africa. It's pretty different. That is, it's a problem also to when you succeed in helping people understand what others are going through, right? Like the non-indigenous understanding the indigenous. You help them to live in peace. When they understand each other, they live in peace and they can work together and things like that. So those are most of the difficulties that we talked about, and using, we just have to learn how to work together so as to be able to live peacefully and promote community development. Maybe somebody else, Clotilda has something to say. If I miss Clotilda or Fiona or Karen, now we were in the same group.
Thank you very much. I think you captured it all. I think the three persons who shared from their countries actually gave us enough, and we were all reiterating the fact that the blend between peace building and ABC actually has to do with concentrating the assets that are based in the communities to do work that helps to reduce pain or violent extremism situations that exist in our communities. So whether it means creating space or giving up a skill that you have to solve a problem, it's all about assets. Because if you have a skill, like for instance, we have retired people who have facilitation skills, who are actually promoting the community peace clubs that we have. So before bringing the idea that we could maybe improve their knowledge on why they have to participate in their communities, or if there is an international document that supports them to do this, we realize that they already have the skill to facilitate. They just needed that particular maybe information to give them the confidence to do that. And then using the spaces that we have even in our ordinary community, be it a local hall, a community pantry that they sit under, it's all about assets that they have. So we have been seeing that to blend, blending assets simply means using what you have in your local community. That could be in terms of material, it could be in terms of human resources, it could be in terms of skills to address an issue that is challenging to human existence. And we actually see that this is what almost everybody is doing, and it could be addressing issues of gender-based violence. It can be addressing issues of human rights or issues of development, because even in it, we realize that people actually have to address issues of development. Like when we are talking about the participation pillar, women get to understand that if they have a discussion and factor their voices into deciding where a standpipe or a water tap should be put in their community, or how a school should be constructed, taking into consideration women's issues, it is already at the level of development. So this is how we see the blend in these things. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for all the feedback from all the breakout rooms. I'm not sure whether we've left out any room. Do we have any other, Robin, or were they only three? Hello, Robin.
There was only three.
Okay. Have we left out anyone else who needed to say something? What they learned, lessons learned, or maybe they didn't learn anything? On my end, there's a lot of learned about the ABCD because it's a new concept to me. And we are in the process of rolling out activities in the community. And I would love to get more insights from people who are experienced in ABCD and see how to blend it with peace building. So that's my takeaway from this whole session. Ogona, do you have anything to say?
Thank you, Carol. For me, I've been practicing ABCD without knowing. So glad I'm practicing, and I'm encouraged to do more. So I think that's my take home: doing something right with knowing you're doing something that is right. Take home. Thank you.
Can I say something, please?
Oh, yes, please.
Thank you. Please, I just wanted to plead that, well, thank you, first of all, for the very rich sessions. We know those things, we use them, and now we are becoming more and more aware of the fact that we need to really put some actions forward so as to bring them alive. I wanted to suggest that way forward, we could really draw actions out of this conference in our various countries, so that we should not just be ambassadors of ABCD, but we should recruit more ambassadors for ABCD. And if that could be brought on board as projects in various countries, that would really be great. In Cameroon, we are already doing something. And I think that whether there is war or there is no war, conflict is not the absence of war. But when we look at our peace building training, we look at structural violence, you begin to understand how war comes about. The absence of people's rights being respected, people not being happy about their socio-cultural lives or their economic lives, people not being happy at the level of their families, at the level of, so you can see that war is imminent anywhere. And now for us to be in a position to promote peace where there is war, it means it's very important for us to recruit other people. And the ABCD is a very strong tool to help others that we could train into making them understand that what you're doing is already ABCD, and we should encourage them to use it more often so as to blend peace and ABCD to make communities stronger and more resilient. That's just what I came to my mind. I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you, Justine.
So,
I think that will go to the organizers. Okay. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, I was saying, I just want to simply say, I would actually encourage all civil society in the world, or community development organization everywhere, to consider peace in their programming. This is based from my experience in Africa here, where I am, where there are a lot of non-governmental organizations doing development, but they often overlook the elements of peace. And this is why most of the development projects that have been implemented in different communities have become white elephants. They are no longer functional, because when the programs phase out, people begin to fight over whatever the project that has been. And this has taught me that it might be, the problem might be that when they do their programming from the initial stage up to the phase out stage, they don't really accommodate peace. So my take would be all the governments, all civil societies and organizations must integrate issues of peace or principle of peace and asset-based community development for sustainable projects. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think it's Kotso. Is that the correct pronunciation? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a correct one.
Hello.
Okay, let's get back to Robin. Oh, there's someone else who wants to speak. Robin, how much time do we have?
Robin's had to leave because she had a class to go to. So it is almost the 2 hours.
Okay. So we had someone who wanted to speak.
Yes, I just want to say that we should hold our leaders in each community responsible, because I realize that whenever a policy is being made, either by a government at the center or in our local community, it has a way of rubbing off on people in that environment. So I just want to say that in what we do or whatever we are doing, we should always hold our leaders responsible for any negative policies that they made, so that it will not have a lasting effect on even the least person in that particular community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, AJ. Ogona?
Yes, Carol.
Would you like to take over?
Right now, just that Robin has gone to class, but I don't know. I don't think we still have so much. Let's just pick on ourselves to have just kind of bringing it to a close. So let's just hear from each of the participants what they have to tell us, so we can say goodbye and snap the pictures, as Robin said. So Dee from Australia, we're hoping to hear from you right away.
Can you say the question again, please?
We are asking if you have any other thing to share with us before we can call it a day.
And I think, like I said in the breakout room, the only thing that I would add is that I love hearing stories from all around the world, because it really puts our work into perspective, and the cultural differences might be quite at odds at times, but like Kotso and I were talking in the breakout room, at the kind of base of that, the foundation is the relationships, and we can all agree on that, you know, that we've got so many similarities in our work as well. And so I think this session also kind of reinforced that to me. I really thoroughly enjoyed the presentations and the breakout groups. So thank you so much, everyone who shared.
Thank you, Dee.
Okay, I got something to say. Hello.
Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say that from what all we have said, when we put ABCD and Peacebuilding together, I think the input is the ABCD, and the result is the Peacebuilding, because the fact that the community can be able to be comfortable, to be able to have that community development spirit and have that peace around them, it means Peacebuilding is the end result of the input that we get from the ABCD. That's my own take from the whole session. Yeah.
Thank you, Coady. Leader, do you have anything to say to us? Leader, is she here? Okay, Carol, I think it's time for us to appreciate the organizers. I want to say a very big thank you for giving us this opportunity to come together as a family, to deliberate, to talk about issues that concerns us. as individuals, as countries, continents. You know, we look at our diverse cultures, we're able to work together irrespective of our diverse cultures. Just want to say thank you to the organizers. My name is Ogonna from Nigeria. I am your co-host. So over to you, Carol.
Oh, thank you so much, Ogonna. I'm Carol from Kenya, but currently in Ghana. I've enjoyed listening to all the presenters and also in the breakout rooms. I've learned a lot, and it's something I'll need to incorporate more in the work that I engage in, having a blend of ABCD and peace. Thank you.
So we're waiting to take the photograph, right? Let me say something like that.
Yes.
Please make yourself available. She said, Stacy would take a photo of everyone on Zoom. So hi, Stacy.
I think Stacey's dropped out again, so I'm just going to see if I can do it.
Have you got it, or I'll do it?
If you've got it, you grab it, Dave.
Yeah, I'm good to go. All right. We're ready. I'll do a countdown. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yay.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
And I believe Constance's wonderful words.
God bless you. God bless you, everybody.
Thank
Ogochukwu, you are doing a great job.
Pretty well, guys.
Doing a great job, eh?
Yes, so Josephine and Carol, God bless you.
Dee, would you like to stop the recording?
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.